Hello, my name is Ashley Morris. I am a third year student and I'm an entomology major on the biosecurity track. So, since I am on the biosecurity track, I've had a lot of classes about introduced and invasive species, invasive pathogens, the effects these invasive organisms have on the environment and agriculture, and how to prevent these organisms from being introduced and what to do if they're introduced. However, I have not specifically learned about international trade and regulations regarding international trade or the international standards for phytosanitary measures, which is what this class is about. So, overall, this class has definitely given me a different perspective on international trade and answered a lot of the questions I've had on this subject. And I appreciate how this information is very specific and very helpful for people who plan to pursue a career in biosecurity, such as myself. So, aside from this, I have also enjoyed the class lectures on subjects outside of phytosanitary measures, and the two stories that I have today both kind of deal with what I've learned from lectures outside of these measures. So, for my first story on how a pest relates to me and my future career goals, I'll be talking about citrus greening, so Wanglongbing, and the Asian citrus psyllid Diaphorina citri, and my future internship with this pest and pathogen. So I was recently accepted to an internship in Immokalee, Florida, and for this internship I am expected to aid in research concerning the Asian citrus psyllid, and this is specifically field research. So I work in an urban lab with bedbugs, and I have never worked with insects that aren't urban insects, and I have never worked out in a field. I've always just worked in a laboratory. So I didn't have a lot of confidence for this internship, so I thought back to all my biosecurity classes and what I've learned about this psyllid, and one of the things I looked back to actually was week 6 of this class. So after I confirmed my acceptance into this internship, I tried doing a lot of research, and I actually looked back on my notes from week 6 of this class on citrus greening and the psyllid, and I tried to educate myself more on this. So prior to this lecture, I was not aware of the signs and symptoms of citrus greening, the scope of this problem, the association between the psyllid and this disease, or what the psyllid looked like. So although I was aware of citrus greening and that it was a problem, I was not fully aware of citrus greening or the ecology of the citrus psyllid. So after I educated myself more on this, I definitely felt more comfortable with starting this internship, and I believe that the knowledge this class has given me, just from the lecture on citrus greening, has better prepared me for this. So now I feel much more comfortable and capable of working with the psyllid and doing field research in the summer. So, since I can't prepare myself for internships like this, or careers in this field without classes like this, it goes to show these classes are very important because they really do help prepare you for things like internships and careers. So the second story I have about how this class has helped me involves my visits to the Division of Plant Industry. So in my insect classifications class, we are required to go to DPI to learn more about their work, their insect collections, and what they do. So when I first walked in, I noticed a small glass case, and there were different habitats in the case. Like, for example, there was a little figurines of like trees to represent like natural areas. There was a little farm to represent agricultural areas, and then maybe like a city for like urban areas. And there was a list on the front that showed lists of insects that affect all of these areas. So when I was looking at it, I realized like, wow, I learned about most of these insects, and I made me realize that I know much more about this subject than I thought. And I realized that although I may not realize it during the middle of the semester, I really am learning so much from my biosecurity classes, and I'm learning a lot about issues that don't just affect the environment, but they affect real people, they affect agriculture, they affect the world around us. And this definitely spurred a deeper interest in this subject and reminded me how relevant these classes are, and made me realize like how much I am learning solely just from this class and trade measures and why they're so important and why they exist. So I know that when I do things like apply for a job or apply to graduate school, I will look back on these classes and all that I've learned, and I'll probably continue to do that throughout my career since I plan to work in biosecurity. So overall, I've definitely gained a better understanding of international trade. I definitely understand the importance of this more now, and I'm definitely more prepared for my internship in the summer. So Thank you so much and have a nice day.